Welcome into the New Orleans Saints podcast. You'll hear from players, coaches, broadcasters, and writers that cover the NFL on a daily basis. The New Orleans Saints podcast starts right now. Here's your host, Erin Summers.
Welcome into the New Orleans Saints podcast. I'm Erin Summers. Great news. Back at practice today was running back Alvin Kamara. Head coach Dennis Allen said that he looked great. He looked like he was in shape and he was explosive. Kamara said that he spent some of his time off in Miami going through what his usual training program would be to get ready during the off season. He said it was really hard watching the games, not being able to be out there. He said he turned into a fan a little bit and was texting different players, asking them why they didn't do this or do that. And the players responded like, it's not that easy, Alvin. Come on, like you should know that. So he's definitely been in touch with his teammates and he is ready to play on Sunday.
Man, it feel good, man. It's weird not playing, you know what I'm saying? So obviously, feel good to be back out there with teammates. Feel good to be back out there running, moving around. Finally get to play a game, so it'll be good.
You feel frustrating watching the offense struggle while you weren't out there?
Yeah, you know, it's frustrating out there or not, because you know, with the weapons we have, you know, you feel like you know the potential we got. And, you know, sometimes when you see it not come to fruition, it's annoying, but you know, it's a lot of things. It's player error. You know, everybody wants to blame coaches, but it's some things we got to execute better. Some things we got to pull out. So I mean, it'll be good. We'll be all right. Get on track.
I think we were talking a lot this offseason about using you more in space, more in the passing game, creativity and stuff. I mean, are you still eager to start?
Yes, 100%. I mean, I was texting back and forth with Derek when I was gone, talking to Jameis, talking to everybody really, and you know, just. It's funny to sit back and watch, you know, like obviously not being able to affect the game, but watching and seeing like what could be, and just, you know, it's easy to sit back and be like, oh, well, we should have done this or we should have done that. So I felt myself doing that. I felt like a fan a little bit, like we should have did this, we should have did that. And I'm telling Derek, and he's like, nah. I'm like, all right. And I'm talking to Caesar, and he's like, nah, it's not that easy. I'm like, all right, well, still, but you know, so I had to take out, I had to come back to the reality of a player, but I'm definitely excited. I think we get a. It's some things that I do that opens up our offense a little bit more. So for everybody, not just for me, for Mike, for Chris, for Sheed. So I'm excited to get back out there and you know, kind of get some of those opportunities.
Quarterback Derek Carr was also at practice on Wednesday, although he did not participate. He was out there without any pads on. He didn't throw any balls. He did say he would be confident in his ability to play on Sunday, even if he was unable to throw a single pass during this week. Carr is taking all the mental reps that he can, and he's preparing and hoping that he is able to play on Sunday. The team has not ruled him in or out.
You know, I don't like talking about injuries, so I'll say this. Look, I obviously I heard it in the game, but I'm doing everything I can, as always, when I broke my back, when I tore my groin, when I hurt this, broke the finger, whatever. You know, I do anything and everything I can with my rehab, my, you know, everything with the trainers. I'm going to do everything I can to, you know, be out there with my guys. And if I can help, if I can play, I'll play. If I physically just can't play, then I can't play. But if I'm out there, that means I'm, you know, there's no fear of, you know, re-injury. There's no fear of this. There's no fear of being able to help the football team. And so I'm going to do everything I can to be out there, but never hurt the team at the same time.
Coming up this Sunday, it is another finally home game. The Saints are back in the Superdome, 12 o'clock on Sunday against the Tampa Bay Bucs. Both the Saints and the Bucs are 2-1 right now. Really need this divisional win over the Bucs, and especially since last year Tampa Bay swept the Saints for the first time since 2007. So definitely need to turn that around and get the W. And to help break down the upcoming game against the Bucs and talk a little bit about what happened during the Green Bay game, and also to just kind of catch up, get to know him a little bit, is our guest today, Tyrann Mathieu. Tyrann, thank you for joining us on the New Orleans Saints podcast. How was practice today?
It was good. We had a few different points of emphasis. You know, obviously, you know, trying to finish games stronger. And obviously taking the ball away is always, you know, priority number one.
I noticed that they were playing Beyonce to start practice.
Yeah.
Are you going to the concert? You a fan?
I mean, I'm a fan. I think she's obviously she's legendary. She's an amazing artist. I will say that I am not a part of the Bayhive.
Okay.
But I do appreciate people that are, excellent at their craft.
There you go. I don't know. The Bayhive, Honey Badger, it's got like the little theme going though.
Yeah, but I don't think anything compares to her fans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it's not your side of the ball, but was it good to see Alvin Kamara back out there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, we're like in a group chat together, and so he's texting us before every game, after every game. So, we always excited to, obviously have him back. He's a difference maker, for our team, and I mean, most people probably don't know this, or maybe they do, but I mean, he brings great energy, to our locker room and to the team. So he's always smiling. So it's good to have him back around.
Can you share anything that's been said in that group chat?
Well, he curses more than it may seem, but man, he's all about winning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he wants us to dominate and kill people. So yeah, we're expecting him to show up and show out this weekend.
You said he brought energy. I think Alante Taylor said he brings a little more juice.
Oh yeah.
How does that affect the team?
I mean, the more guys you have, like that in the locker room, I think it's just better for the team. Obviously he's a bell cow. You know what I mean? Like he's a guy that, when we're down or when we need a big play, we know we can call his number. So, and he just has like a transcending, skill set. You know what I mean? Like he can do it from the backfield, out of the backfield. So he's a matchup nightmare. So hopefully, Pete could find him some favorable matchups Sunday.
Yeah. Alvin always talks about how he wants to be a backup quarterback. Any chance he gets, he's like, put me in. Yeah. It's something he's brought up, the 7 years that he's been here. You're a little thin right there right now.
Yeah. I will say this, man. Quarterback is probably, a lot of people think DB is like the hardest, position on the field, but I probably say quarterback is the hardest position on the field. So obviously this is not college. Maybe in college, AK could get away with it, but in the league, man, there's just so many different decisions you have to make. You know what I mean? In a split second. So he should probably just stick to tailback.
Yeah. All right. Before we get into this week in Tampa Bay, after the Green Bay game, you said that the defense still thinks this is their team. And that you guys put it on yourselves to put the team in a position to win. Yeah. Why is that?
Well, I think that's just the mindset, collectively that we have. Obviously, over the course of the last 10 years, the Saints are, probably like top 3 as far as, wins and losses, in the whole league. So, I mean, it's always been a winning program. But, I think, in the midst of that, this has always been a pretty good defense too. And so, I think that's just the pressure and responsibility, that we all kind of carry, into each week. I've been on some teams where, we expected the offense to just show up and win the game for us, right? And we can play any kind of way on defense. I think the standard, is just a little bit different here.
When did you realize that? I mean, is that something you just knew, kind of saw from the team from afar?
Yeah.
But when you obviously joined the team, when did that kind of click?
Well, when I joined the team, I knew I was joining a great defense. I knew we had some good, defensive coaches as well. I'd probably say for me the realization was, midway, through the season last year.
Yeah.
Right? I think in this league, very rarely are you going to win a game by 14, 21 points, right? Most of the time,
unless you're the Broncos and you lose by.
Right. But most of the times, man, like it comes down to like 4-minute defense, 2-minute defense, right? And I think defensively, if we have the opportunity to help the team win the game, I think that's kind of the pressure, that we want.
Yeah. So have you turned the page from Green Bay?
Well, I don't think just yet. Maybe when the lights come on Sunday, you know what I mean? But I mean, you just never want to have those kind of letdowns. You know, I think anytime and I told a few of the players this, like, you know, sometimes you'd rather get beat by 30 than to beat by 1, right? Like, I feel like, you know, if you get beat by 30, everybody know we just didn't have a chance, right? But, you know, you get beat by 1 point, 2 point, 3 points, right? And, you know, 1 or 2 plays become, you know, you can magnify those plays and say, damn, if I made that play, you know, I could have helped the team, you know, win the game, right? And so, you know, you never want to lose, you know, period. But I feel like those 1-point losses, they could kind of stick with you for a few days.
On the flip side, the first 2 games have been close, and you've won by a couple points.
Yeah.
Does it feel better when you win that way, or would you rather completely just blow somebody out?
Well, I think some moments call for you to dominate. You know, I think, you know, last week was, you know, one of those situations where, you know, if we just kept our foot on the pedal, then, you know, we probably could have won that game by 28, you know, 30 points. You know, but, you know, I think when you win a close game, and you know, whether it be offensively or defensively, I think those games build character. Sometimes when you lose a close game, that can build character too. But, you know, even last year, right, like we lost a lot of one-score games, right? So, I mean, it's always good to win those games and get off to a fast start. But like I said, man, winning, it's all about winning.
Yeah. A couple of the guys on the defensive side of the ball, statistically, are ranked at the top of the league right now. Nalante Taylor, Marshawn Lattimore, and passes defensed. I mean, you can look at the stats, but you see them out there on the field. What makes them so elite in their positions?
Well, they're competitive. You know, I think in this league, you know, especially playing cornerback, you know, nickelback, you know, a lot of the rules, a lot of the situations are favored towards the offense, right? Like how can, you know, those guys just, you know, run without being, you know, restricted or, you know, how can offensive coordinators, right, like set up the scheme to where they can get, you know, their best guy in space, right? So what I think those guys do the best is, you know, they challenge, you know, each and every play. And, you know, sometimes the other guy catches the ball too. Like those guys get paid good money too. But, you know, for the most part, you know, through the course of a game, like these guys are competing, you know, all the way to the ground. So, you know, I think that's probably one of the best, you know, attributes you could have, you know, as a defensive back is like your willingness to compete, you know, no matter, you know, the situation.
How difficult is what Alante Taylor has been doing, you know, changing position, and then last game going from inside outside throughout the game?
Yeah. I mean, you know, to be honest, I think that's kind of the standard, you know, he set for himself. So, you know, and, you know, I think when you have a pretty good rookie season like he had, you know, a lot of people start to think that, you know, they could put, you know, more on your plate, you know, and I think he's one of those young guys that, you know, can handle it. You know, not everybody can handle, you know, juggling, you know, multiple positions, but, you know, he's coming along great. You know, I think the more plays he makes, you know, in the slot, you know, it's only going to, you know, build his confidence and help him out, you know, as he continues to go forward, you know, in his career.
Yeah, what have you seen from the rookie Jordan Howden?
Well, he showed up for us big time, you know, last week. You know, obviously, you know, I was joking with him before the game, you know, right? Not too many of us get our first start, right, in Lambeau.
Right.
You know what I mean? So just an amazing atmosphere, you know, one of those games where, you know, you'll remember, you know, for the rest of your life. So, but he stepped us for us big time. So we just obviously, you know, looking forward to him continuing to do that for us.
You mentioned the atmosphere. Lambeau, historic. KC obviously gets really loud there. What's the best place, atmosphere-wise, that you've played?
The best place I've played, I mean, in no particular order, Superdome, or should I say Mercedes-Benz. I'd probably say Seattle. Seattle at night is electric. Pittsburgh is up there. Kansas City. Yeah, I'd probably say those. Those are like the most electric, you know, places to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the Bucs players today said that the Dome is like, it's just a different place because you go in there, it's dark, the fans are crazy, and they close the door. It's like they lock you in there for like a fight. Why is it so different playing in the Dome?
Well, I mean, obviously it starts with the fans. You know, I think they've always been passionate, you know, about, you know, football in general, right? But, you know, especially Saints football. So, we can expect them and count on them to kind of show up and show out. Maybe a few of them, get a beer or two, in the system, right?
People like to do that around here?
Oh, yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, it starts with the fans and it ends with them. So, and I think the harder we play, the more games we win, the more confidence they get too, as fans.
Yeah. Well, now, talking about Tampa Bay, it's a divisional opponent and somebody that swept the Saints last year for the first time since 2007. Yeah. So it's been a while. What do you guys need to do to go out there and dominate and get this divisional win?
Well, we just need to finish the game. I think last year, both games really, right? It came down to the wire, right? And, a play here or a play there, and we win that game. So, we're looking forward to, finishing strong this week. Obviously they got a few new pieces. That'll be a challenge for us. But, for the most part, I think the core, is still the same. It's a new system, as far as, offense goes. But a system that we played against last year, played against Seattle. So, we kind of expect, what we're going to see, come Sunday. But, I think defensively, like the philosophy, remains the same, right? Like, doesn't matter who you play. How can you affect the quarterback? What does your effort look like? Are you straining? And the more guys we get to the ball, the better off we'll be.
Do you guys get excited for matchups like Marshawn and Mike Evans? Because I know the fans do. That's always been a testy one.
Yeah, I mean, I played with Patrick Peterson, right? And so, every time we played against Julio Jones or, Calvin Johnson, right? Like, as bad as I want to do my job, I'm kind of peeking out the corner of my eye trying to see how that showdown going over there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, it's fun. It's football, right? And I think at the end of the day, we're all fans of the game, right? And so, put our best guy on their best guy and let's see who comes out on top.
Yeah. You won a Super Bowl with Kansas City. At what point during that season or a season do you realize, we really have a shot at this?
Yeah. Well, I'd probably say, the year we won, I'd probably say week 10. We were 6-4, going into week 11, right? And, we had a divisional game, against the Chargers. I want to say it was in Mexico. And, we just showed up to play. And, I think when you get in those situations and you have a complete team game, right, and you're able to win, I think those kind of games can carry you, the rest of the year. So, hopefully we could put together one of those type of games, right, where, all three phases are kind of clicking and, we're all playing complementary, off of each other. Because I think, collectively it builds, so much confidence amongst players and coaches.
Okay, so I'll check with you around week 10, week 11, see what we're feeling, where we're at. What goes into your game day fits?
My game day fits? To be honest, I'm not picky. I have a ton of clothes and stuff. I don't try to go outside the box. I just try to color coordinate. Some games I may put on some drip, and then other games I might just wear a Saints sweatsuit. You know what I mean? So it all depends on, first of all, the atmosphere we're playing in, whether or not it's a night game or a primetime game. So
night games, primetime, that's when you put the drip on?
Yeah, that's when I put the drip on.
Okay.
That's when I put the drip on. Yeah. Because I have more time to kind of, figure it out. I feel like noon games, you got to wake up and be ready to roll.
Yeah, but you got to figure it out before you pack for away games, right?
Right. So, which most away games, especially if it's not a night game, I just put my Saints stuff on.
Or you've been wearing some graphic tees.
Yeah, I've been wearing some graphic tees pregame. Just trying to pay homage to, some of my favorite artists. So, spoiler alert, this week I'm going to wear a Marcus May shirt because, I miss my dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wish he was with us. So, I'm going to show May some love this week.
Yeah, definitely. We all miss him around here. Are you going to go to an LSU game this year?
I'm going to try to make one.
Yeah.
So, hopefully, our schedule, I want to go to a good game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, last year I was able to go to Alabama, and that was just a classic, right? So hopefully I'm able to pick another classic, that we win, And and it's at night.
Right. That would be nice. I've never been to a game there.
You should go. You should
Yeah.
put that on your bucket list.
All right.
Yeah.
What's been different about the defense this year as far as the coaches go? Because it's pretty much a full new staff
Yeah.
there in most of the positions.
Yeah, I'd probably say this, especially, defensive, as far as the secondary goes, we got two really good coaches. I think both of them are different, like in their own, unique way. I think Joe Woods is, he's like detailed, right? Like he want us to.
Everybody says that.
Yeah, like he keeps us in meetings all day long. You know what I mean? Like sometimes DA got to come in there and tell him let us out. You know what I mean? But he's all about execution, right? And us playing like technique ball. Like I think he understands we got a pretty good secondary. But he wants us to rely on like technique, right? Like fundamentals, rather than us just going out there thinking, we could just get it done off our athleticism. I'd probably say M-Rob is like all about the ball, right? Like wherever the ball is, get to the ball, right? Like get your hands on the ball. So, so I think really that's why we kind of been able to, affect the quarterback as much as we have, in these first three games and, come away with some intercepts too early on.
Yeah. M-Rob, that's Marcus Robertson.
Yes.
For anybody else out there. Joe Woods, I think, is like the nicest guy.
He is.
He will like literally say hi to you when you're like across the parking lot.
Yeah.
He's great.
He's cool.
So I guess it's probably hard to get mad at him when he's holding you in meetings.
Okay. Marshawn, he give him some stuff from time to time, but it's all good. It's all in fun.
Yeah, I guess Marshawn's probably like earned that.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
ability for sure. How do you like being one of the older guys on the team?
I mean, it's fun, right? But a lot of times, like they just make me feel so old, right? And I'm in the locker room, and all these young guys, and they're like, I was 9 years old when I started watching you play.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, what? I'm like, dog, you're just making me sound like I'm 40 or something. You know what I mean? But it's cool. Obviously, I got a lot of knowledge and wisdom that I can share with those guys, even outside of football. So, I think that the biggest thing is just taking on that responsibility. Just trying to encourage those guys and push those guys towards, some of the things that I was kind of able to, accomplish, in my career. So I think that's, mostly that's what that's all about, just trying to see those guys, do well.
Is there a big gap between the music that they listen to, what they like to do, that kind of stuff, like social media?
No, I don't think it's a big gap. I think I'm still hip. You know what I mean? I got a 10-year-old and a 9-year-old son,
Yeah.
so it's like, even if like a trend comes out tomorrow, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna hear about it like tonight. You know what I mean? But I like to play slow music sometimes, right? And a lot of these guys, they didn't grow up on that slow jams like I did. So I got to cater to their ear, a lot.
Yeah. You mentioned you have two sons, but your daughter, you are going to spoil the crap out of her, aren't you?
She got me where she want me at. Yeah, that's my baby right there. So, I'll just say that she got me exactly where she want me at. I'll probably stay there forever. So,
how old is she right now?
She's 3.
And she already has you like that.
Yeah. She's smart. She's a smart 3-year-old. She's intelligent. And so, I think me and her, we got a really like unique bond. Me and my sons were good, but they kind of getting older, right? They think they know everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Get
I got to kind of let them
independent.
bump their head sometimes. But, for her, it's like, daddy this, daddy that. So, she keeps me humble and she keeps me grounded, for sure.
What's going to happen when she wants to go on her first date?
I think I might come. I see no problem with me sitting in on the first date.
So you're going to be sitting like behind them in the movie theater?
Yeah. I'll sit with them.
Yeah.
So I might cry. I might cry. Yeah. I might cry. I gotta let her go one day, but I'm crying.
You have some time. She's only 3. We're okay. Speaking of dating, what do you think about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift?
Oh, that was out of field. I see that one coming.
You believe it? Is it for real?
Don't believe it. I don't. I mean, I just don't. I don't know. To me, I think Taylor Swift is like, I don't know her personally, but I just think they're two different personalities.
Yeah.
You know, like Travis is like I played with Travis. Like,
Right.
he's a rock star.
I was going to say,
Like, he's a rock star. You know what I mean? So, this is weird.
This doesn't seem like his
How does it
type.
work? Sometimes opposites attract. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm going to lean on the side of we'll see.
We will definitely see. Well, thank you so much for taking this time. I appreciate it, and we look forward to the game this weekend.
Yeah, thank you.
Really fun conversation with Tyrann. I appreciate the time, his candidness, and how much he really just loves being here in New Orleans, playing for this team and this defense. In case you missed it, the practice report from today is on NewOrleansSaints.com. You can find interviews, the entire Derek Carr interview, as well as hear from running back Alvin Kamara. And then you'll see the injury report. There were 7 Saints listed on the injury report. Carr was one of those, as was cornerback Paulson Adebo and safety Jordan Howden. We'll continue to follow those players and the news throughout the week to see whether or not Carr is going to be able to play. It's going to be quarterback Jameis Winston going up against his former team. They did draft him number 1 overall in 2015. Regardless, we're feeling good about Sunday. It's time to get a W in the Superdome in front of all of the black and gold. We'll be back for another episode on Friday. We'll break things down with Fox sideline reporter Jen Hale, who will be on the call for the game Sunday. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for listening to the New Orleans Saints podcast. Join us 3 times per week on NewOrleansSaints.com, the Saints mobile app, or you can download the podcast on iTunes. We'll see you next time, right here on the New Orleans Saints podcast.